Hey, what is up guys? Guitar here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, today I have some beginner's guide for you guys. Alright, I call this the ultimate beginner's guide in 2020. 20 tips, 20 important tips. Maybe there's some bonus tips, maybe there's more than 20 tips. Alright, so hopefully I'll be able to provide you guys some important tips, especially for you new players out there, alright? If you are new to the game, hopefully this will be the first video that you watch on this channel. I hope that all of these tips will be able to help you in progressing forward, moving on into the game, whether or not you want to take this game seriously later on, etc. For someone who has been playing the game for about 2 years or so, I would say it's quite important to avoid some of the mistakes right here. Alright, so let's get right into it. Okay, so the first tip that I have is regarding the Legend Scroll package. So I know many new players have been asking me whether or not it's worth buying etc. Now, the Legend Scroll package, I've already done a video on it, whether or not you should be buying it. But ideally, if you are new and if you're looking to reroll on your account, alright, specifically just for rerolling, you should be buying this, as many of these as you can, depending on how much diamonds you have early on. Now, if you get bad pulls, if you don't get any legendaries at all, you can consider just making a new account altogether. So that's what the rerolling is for. So ideally, when you purchase this, it does give you bonus gold. And if you are new to the game, mileage is not going to be relevant for you. Most veteran players will be skipping buying this because they want the mileage for the guaranteed unit. But for someone who is new, if you are looking to reroll especially, you want to get Lucius, Livia, like that too is probably one of the better units right now to obtain. So try to reroll for those two via the Legend Scroll package. Alright, so you can buy this only 3 times per week. So make sure to buy it. It's going to cost 1,800 diamonds, 600 diamonds per package. And try out your luck. If you get a Lucius or a Livia, that's the account that you should be keeping. Moving on to the next one. World Boss. Alright, now this is something that I see lots of players have been neglecting. Alright, I've been mentioning tons and tons of time. Do your World Boss every single day and try your best to focus on your World Boss early on. So lots of players, they just totally ignore World Boss because of the excuse of it being new, number one, and they don't have enough good mercenaries, etc. That's the excuse that most players give last time, but with the inclusion of the Jumpstart quest, now you have more units to choose from. So there's just no excuse for you to say something like, I can't really do World Boss because I don't have all the good units. Now you don't need good units to get 54 diamonds every day. And the 10 ancient coins, of course. Now the ancient coins are very important. So what you need to do is not focusing on getting the maximum rewards right here. Alright, for example, Arcstar, you need to get 2.5 million. That's not what I'm talking about, alright? So what you want to do is focusing on getting the maximum on this rewards list right here. So to get 54 diamonds, you need to do 648,000 to Arcstar. So you want to try to achieve this particular rewards right here, alongside with the ancient coins as well. Make sure you get it daily, every single day, 54 diamonds, 10 ancient coins. It's going to stack up a lot, alright? So 54 diamonds is going to give you 500 diamonds over the course of 10 days. So same goes for the ancient coins as well. You get approximately 300 ancient coins every month from you just doing the World Boss, alright? So it's very important to not neglect your World Boss because that's going to be, especially for newer players, this is going to be your main source of income for diamonds and ancient coins. Okay, so tip number 3 that I have is regarding the Jumpstart quest. Now this is where it's gonna be a bit more complicated. Now I have done guides on the Jumpstart quest in the past. Most of the guides are kind of outdated and I'm working on making a newer one. But make sure you do your research before picking the random units from the Jumpstart quest. It's very important, especially right now. We're going to have another Jumpstart quest coming soon with the Jumpstart quest 2. And obviously we're going to have a very huge meta shift once the Octo comes in. So do keep in mind that, especially for the Legendary, this is very important. Make sure you do a proper research. I see lots of players still thinking that Natus is still the best one because they went and looked for the old guy. So Natus is falling off hard in the meta. So you want to take that into consideration before picking Natus. Unless you don't really care about the meta, then just go for whom you like. Now the Legendary units are the strongest unit and will be the strongest units in your account for the longest time, no matter what content you're trying to tackle in the game. So if you make a wrong decision right here, you're better off starting a new account because making a wrong decision, for example, if you pick Natus and if you don't have any way of you to transfer his skill away, you're pretty much stuck with him and you're forced to use him even if he's out of meta and gets countered by almost every other single units on the meta that's coming real soon. So make sure you guys do your research. It's very important, especially with the Jumpstart quest. Do not rush your picks, alright? Always do the proper research beforehand. Alright, so tip number 4 that I have for you guys is regarding the Mystic Island. Make sure to take advantage of the Mystic Island. So what do I mean by taking advantage? So ideally, you can place your units here to level them up, alright, regardless of whether or not you are using them to level up your Fodders, or if you are using them to level up your core mercenary units, you can still place them here and still use them in the campaign, Evil Castle, or PvP. So you don't have to worry about that. So feel free to use the Mystic Island to give your units free experience. So that's very important. I see lots of players, they are not using this efficiently. So a lot of them, they just place their maxed out units right here. So those units don't really need experience anymore. It's already maxed at level 70. So ideally you want to be placing new units if you can, especially on these lower castles where it doesn't matter if you get pillaged because it's just a couple of dust. Ideally the experience overall is going to be much more beneficial for you in the long run if you are new. Alright, so tip number 5 that I have for you guys is join a freaking guild. Alright, it's very important for you to join a guild in this game because if you are able to get the rewards from the season guild every single season, there will be 2 seasons every single month. They give a ton of diamonds and a ton of ancient coins. Now ancient coins are very important in this game if you guys haven't noticed already. So guild is something that most new players can easily benefit from. Alright, I'm not asking you to go and leech off the top 10 guilds and try your luck right there. Try to join a guild that's within your rank. Alright, so it's going to be easier for you to get into that guild. So remember that guild will always give you ancient coins. That's something that you cannot get anywhere else. It's something that's extremely time gated, and having that extra ancient coins income is going to come really handy in the long run, especially if you do intend to play this game for long. Which ties into the 5th tip that I'm going to give you guys. Ancient coins are the most important currency in this game. Alright, so in most games, there's 2 currencies. There's 1 gold and then there's 1 diamonds or gems or rubies, depending on what you want to call this. So the gold is usually the free currency and then the diamond is usually the premium currency. But in Brave 9, there's 1 extra currency that you can't really get in any packages most of the time. Alright, and that is ancient coins. Now ancient coins is locked behind a couple of things like rewards from arena, like I mentioned, guild wars, and of course world boss as well. So it's very important for you to constantly try in arena and novice arena as well, so that you can easily generate constant amount of ancient coins every single week or every single month. Now what are ancient coins used for? They are ideally used to purchase the legend skill book right here, which you can purchase 2 every single month. And also you can use to purchase any of the legendaries. So right here you can purchase some of the legendaries. They are available for 1.5k ancient coins. Now do keep in mind, it's better to think carefully before purchasing a legendary. Like I mentioned, ancient coins is not something that you want to mess with. You want to treat ancient coins to be more valuable than your real money, because in this game, ancient coins is like the thing above diamonds. Alright, diamonds is cool, you get to perform pulls etc, but you can always buy more diamonds. And with ancient coins, you can't really buy more ancient coins. So if you make wrong or bad decision, especially involving ancient coins, just buying random legendaries and keeping them in your inventory, you're going to suffer hard later on. Alright, it's going to be quite hard to fix that damage. So ideally, before you do any ancient coins purchase, buying legendaries or spending them, alright, so make sure you think carefully and make sure you consult and ask for a second opinion. Alright, there's no harm in doing so. Ideally, if you're unsure of what you should be doing with your ancient coins, just buy the legend skill books every single month from the honor shop. So that's the safest option. Alright, so tip number 7 that I have for you guys is invest in a good supporters first. I know this is kind of awkward. Alright, it's kind of weird. Why would you want to invest in supporters first? Because they just support. They generally might not even need it in some cases, which is kind of true, but also kind of not true in a way. Alright, if you have been playing this game for long enough, you would notice that supporters meta shifts rarely. Alright, compared to something like warriors, which is extremely saturated and always switches every 2 to 3 weeks. There's always something replacing the old warriors. Whereas for supporters, it has been pretty still for a long time. And most of the supporters does have their own unique traits, right? So Rafitia has big range, Michaela has irremovable buffs, Albion gives taunt and maximum amount of grace, Flora gives max HP, Veronia gives 100% defense to a unit. So lots of the supporters, they don't really collide with each other. Whereas for the warriors, they sort of have some sort of overlapping skills that makes a new one better than the older one whenever they are reworked, etc. So ideally, based on my own personal experience, I would say supporters are the much more safer to invest in early on because they tend to have more longevity in the meta. Alright, so overall you are spending, let's say if you are thinking of building either an Alec or a Raphithia. Alright, so both are going to require the same amount of resources. So Raphithia you're going to get much more longevity, number one, and you're going to get much more versatility in terms of usability in every single case scenario in all the game modes, as opposed to an Alec. So Alec is strong, but there are some cases where you have to use something like a DOT, for example, or something like a stats weakening, and therefore you have to switch out your warriors. But supporters, you can still use them to support and buff your allies in general. So ideally, my advice to new players is always try to see if you can invest in a couple of good, strong supporters first before proceeding to the other classes like the magicians, warriors, or defenders. Okay, so tip number 8 for you guys is regarding the set effect. So I noticed new players like to go for set effects. Let me tell you something about set effects. Set effects suck. Alright, they suck so bad. Don't go for set effects. And I get it. Alright, if you are new, you probably don't know about this. Now, what do I mean by set effects sucks? Now, most set effects are kind of bad, alright? I still remember when I first played the game, alright? One of the first units that I got back then was a freaking Gloria. I remember I got Gloria, and then I got Kral, alright? I was so happy. Oh, I'm going to get the Executor set effect. Then, back then I was new, alright? I was dumb. I went all in, all my premium scrolls, all my diamonds, I'm going to go recruit Uria, alright? And then I got the superb set effect now. Increase by 30%. Alright, HP by 30%. So I used Gloria, Kral, and Uria when I was new. Don't do that. Don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. Set effects can still be used occasionally, but very rarely you will see a good formation that utilizes based upon set effects. Unless you're looking at world boss scenarios where you get the HP boost. In most of the cases, if you are building a PvP unit, let's say right now you have a Frisha, alright? Don't go out to spend your diamonds and recruit Kaina and then build a Grace later on, just for the set effect. Build your units based on the meta. Don't build your units based on set effect. This is something that I see lots of new players go for. I don't know why, but yeah, I get it. If you're new to the game, you see all of these. Oh, pretty cool. I get 25% attack, HP percent increase. Yeah, a lot of units are still in transitioning on getting their companions. So plenty of units are just in an unusable state right now before they get their companions. So I would say to be on the safe side, wait for a bit and don't go for any set effects right now. Okay, so tip number 9 is regarding companions and soul gears. I get asked plenty of times, what are companions, what are soul gears? Okay, so every single unit will have their companions, alright? There are some units that do not have companions yet, keep in mind. So we are in the process of getting some of the older units to get reworked and receive their companions. So not all units will have companions yet as of the time of me making this video. So do keep that in mind. So let me show you guys an example. Okay, let's just grab Carlson because I assume all new players have Carlson. Carlson is a 3-star. So, but I did awaken mine all the way to 6 stars. Alright, rank up and awaken all the way. So Carlson, by default, you will only get your Carlson at +9 if you do not have companion. So if you look at the companion right here, alright, so there's plenty of other companions, we ignore that. You need a companion and you need to enchant them all the way to level 5. Alright, you can see that 5 on the top of the Carlson. So what happens if I unequip the companion? Very easy, I'm going to show you guys. So if I press the stop accompanying, boom. So you can see my Carlson is only up to +10. So companion gives skill level up to +15 for each level. So therefore, if you have one companion, alright, you only get +11. Alright, if you have 5 companions, you need to merge them into one by enchanting them. Alright, so you go on the companion section right here and then click on any Carlson, click on this enchant button, and then you can make a +5 companion, a level 5 companion. Which is why ideally to get a +15 unit, you need companions all the way skill level 5. But one more thing is regarding the soul gear. So if you do not have soul gear, your units will only get to a skill level of 9. Alright, you won't get up to +10. So let's say if I unequip the soul gear, I remove, boom, you can see my Carlson is only skill level 9. Alright, so up to skill level 9, you can use skill books or you can use duplicates to skill up your units. And then to get that last skill level, you will need the soul gears. Alright, all soul gears need to be level 10. It takes a long time, I get it, but it's something that you have to try to grind towards. Alright, so this That's why I'm giving you guys more tips so that you can be more prepared. Alright, do keep in mind companions will give you 5 skill levels. So if I press the company right here, boom. So now my Carlson is back to plus 14 right there. And then to get the last plus 15, I just equip this one, the document or whatever, boom. Alright, and then now we are at plus 15. Okay, so there's the skill level. Now keep in mind, there are some units that really needs plus 15 to be strong. Alright, Glacier is one of the example. Plus 14 and below is just very bad compared to her plus 15 version. So make sure you do your research before you want to invest in a unit, because getting the soul gears is the hard part most of the time for newer players. You want to get that to level 10. All of it needs to be level 10. Alright, not just getting the soul gear at level 1. They need to be level up all the way to level 10 just for that one skill level. I know it's demanding, it's a lot to ask for, and it's not going to be easy for new players. But here's the thing, there are a lot of units as well that are strong without skill level, without soul gears, without companions. Alright, I've made lots of videos on it. Alright, if you saw recently, Helga, plus 11 is strong enough for most cases. Yuri is strong at plus 0. Just do your research, alright? Not every unit needs to be plus 15, but there are some units that really needs to be plus 15 to be really strong. Alright, so one more thing that I noticed a lot of new players neglect is adding friends. So always try to add friends, alright? So you can add anyone as friends. Please do not send me any more friend requests, alright? I think I'm pretty much full. Okay, just don't send me friend requests, but yeah, feel free to add friends, because friends, very important. What are friends used for? Number 1, you can send them friendship points and they can send you friendship points. Number 2, if you are struggling in the campaign, for example, you struggle with this particular stage, for example, you can always use a friend's mercenary unit, which is very important. So that's where it helps you with the progression. Now keep in mind, friends unit can only be used mostly in the campaign, alright? You can't use friends unit in Evil Castle, you can't use it in World Boss. It's only for campaign, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so you can borrow some of the friends unit. For example, let's say I don't have good units, I can click on friends. So some of them will have like legendary units like Livia plus 10 or Vals plus 10, alright, or Alec right here, Alec plus 0, which is useless, but whatever. And then we have Ventana plus 15. So make sure take use of friends unit, alright, especially if you're struggling in the campaign. If you are new, always remember you can always bring in friends unit. It's limited though, you only get to use them once per day. So if you have 50 friends, you will be able to have more chances of using a variety of different mercenaries. Okay, the next tip that I have for you guys is regarding the co-op raid. So this is extremely important. Now every time when you try to do a co-op raid, try to see if you can proceed to the normal or hard. I would not recommend you to do easy at all, because even if you are new, right? Easy just gives so little soul stones compared to hard. Let's see. So easy, you get 600 soul pieces. Alright, so for normal, you do get the 1200. You can see it's double the amount of soul pieces. So these things are used to summon soul gears, and you will need a lot to try to make a plus 15. Especially if you are new, you have plenty of units that you want to plus 15. Alright, so try to see if you can get to a normal or get to a hard. Hard will guarantee you 1800 soul pieces for every single battle. Alright, you multiply that by 4 compared to someone who is doing like easy, you get 600 times 4. Like you can see the difference. Over the course of 1 month, if you are new and you play easy only, and someone who is new and has been constantly playing hard, that person is going to be so much way further ahead of you because of the amount of soul gears that he's getting. So in the end, maybe you can plus 10 2 to 3 units, but the other guy who starts at the same time as you, if he play hard every single day, he can literally plus 10 5 to 7 units. So keep that in mind. Soul gear differences is extremely huge. I've already done plenty of guides on my channel regarding the hard co-op raids, and if you can't do it when you're starting out, if you're new, always find someone who can do it together with you. This is co-op raid. You can always find guildmates, find friends. Just jump over to my Discord as well if you want to find someone to do the hard co-op raids for you. It's kind of an important one moving forward because soul gears is just so important. Try to avoid doing easy at all costs. It just gives so little soul pieces. It's not worth it. Bonus tip that I want to include, forgot to include this earlier, is basically the gear icons. So there are places like Crystal Cave and Rune Temples where you can be farming these stages. Alright, for example, let's farm the Defender stage 4. Click on this gear icon and click on Start Battle. Now if you are new, you might not know this, but this game has amazing quality of life feature. So now it's actually doing the farming in the background. All right, you can do this for the crystal cave. You can do this for rune temples as well. So let's farm a 9th floor. Usually you want to farm the 9th floor. We're going to farm it 20 times. And you can do this for the event dungeons. So while this is farming, you can do something else. You can play PvP if you want to. You can do something else, etc. It's just awesome. All right, so make sure to take advantage of these particular gear icons. So ideally, you want to be doing it in the least amount of time. Mine is shortest clear record is 14 turns. So I haven't updated mine ever since, but there are plenty of guides out there that can help you achieve like 5 turns, 6 turns. So if you do it less, the amount of farming time is going to be significantly reduced as well. Okay, so what's the best way for you to use horseshoes? Lots of new players are going to ask me this question. So notice I have 2,800 horseshoes. So how I usually spend my horseshoes is I usually stack them up until Saturdays, and then I will use them up all on Saturdays only, because Saturdays you get more bonus discount for runes, you get more rune pieces. So you want to be farming as much runes as you can on Saturdays every single week. All right, stack up your horseshoes during the weekdays. Either that, or you can farm gold as well, depending on which one you need more. So gold are available in the event dungeons. The best way is to just farm on the event dungeons, play as much as you can during the weekends. All right, which comes on to the next tip that I have. All right, so the event dungeon and the slime dungeon, they are both open at the same time. All right, so depending on which server you are, here are the time based on the server that you're on. Ideally, never farm the slime dungeon, because you can always get EXP from the free slime that they give, and also from the Mystic Island. If you use it efficiently enough, you will be able to get a lot of experience from there. There's no need for you to be farming slimes. When I was new to the game, I didn't notice. I always farm slime dungeons. I never farmed the gold dungeons. And then I was always wondering, why is everyone else having the plus 10, plus 15 units? Because they farm for gold, use all the gold to purchase soul gears. You can actually use gold to purchase soul gears, in case you guys don't know. Soul stones and gold. Alright, if you have plenty of gold, plenty of soul stones, ideally you will be able to purchase a ton of soul gears, and you can make a lot of plus 15 units, which can help give you the boost. Alright, so this is very important. You want to do arena every single day whenever you get the chance to do so. Never stack up your swords. I've listened to some of the newer players, they say they are scared because they don't want to drop below their rank. Here's what I think, alright? Ideally, I understand that feeling. I've been there before, obviously. So the important thing is always burn your swords, because every time, regardless of whether you win or you lose a battle, you will always get honor points. Now that's the crucial part. Honor points will give you a ton of flexibility in buying lots of items from the honor shop. Alright, you can buy 5-star skill books, you can buy 4-star skill books, you can also buy some of the class specific scrolls if you want to. Ideally, I would advise to avoid those things. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose a battle. I would say in the long run, getting the honor points is going to be much more important, because if you have the honor points, and also right now they did add the feature for you to be able to purchase the gifts for the legendary companions. So that basically increases the value of trying to run your arena every day. It doesn't matter if you drop 1 rank below, it doesn't matter if you go on a 5 losing streak or whatever, as long as you get to burn your swords. I do think it's much more efficient compared to, I've seen players stacked up like thousands of arena swords basically. Like I have no idea what are they trying to achieve, because every time you don't spend them, you are basically stacking them there, and they cannot recharge over time. So in terms of efficiency, you are losing that 10 slots that you are getting every few minutes, right? So over the long run, the amount of honor points you are not getting is wasted. Alright, so next tip that I have for you guys is always learn the optimal skill level for units. Alright, so what do I mean by optimal skill level? So some units, they are good beyond certain point, alright, and after that, the value just diminishes. You don't get much by investing further. Okay, so for example, Taylor. Taylor is a good example, alright? She doesn't really need plus 15 compared to a lot of other units. If you have Taylor at plus 13 or even plus 12, she's perfectly usable, alright? Not every single unit out there needs to be plus 15. And same like I mentioned earlier, Yuri is one of those few that doesn't really need much skill level. Obviously, if you can go to plus 12, sure. Gunter is notoriously famous for being extremely good at +0. Alright, so we also have something like Lyudmila, which can be really strong at +12. Alright, you cannot afford to go all the way to +15. A +12 is a good stopping point. So you want to always know your mercenaries' optimal skill level so that you don't overspend and you can plan your resources accordingly. It's very important for you to plan, especially if you're free to play. I assume that majority of you guys watching this video are kind of on the newer side and you're thinking more on trying to save your resources. This is going to be a big help, even for units like Helga, for example. I've made videos about her explaining why you only need +11 most of the time. Alright, you don't really need to go all the way to +15 because trying to pull the extra companions is, depending, if you're unlucky, you might need to spend up to 5,000 or 6,000 more diamonds. Use the goddamn encyclopedia. Alright, so everything you need to know is right here. Alright, try to understand the skills from the units right here, and also you can use this to your advantage to learn to substitute some of the units that you do not have. For example, if you're trying to clear an evil castle stage. Alright, so let's say there's this evil castle stage that needs DOT, right? It needs DOT. And I make a guide on it. Alright, I'm using Diomeron right there. Diomeron has this skill. It's a DOT decomposition. Let's say you don't have Diomeron and you want to look up which other units have decomposition DOT. You can always use the encyclopedia skill guide. Alright, find for DOT and then find for decomposition. Alright, very easy. Click on this and now it lists down all the units for you. Like a champ. Alright, please use this. It's very useful. You don't have Diomeron? Oh, now you have Kyria. Okay, more option for you. And you can use Viola. Wow, so smart. Alright, you don't have to suffer through that. Alright, next tip I have for you guys is always click on the goddamn exceptions. Alright, what do I mean by this? A lot of units have broken skills, but it's hidden in the exception. Alright, I'm going to show you guys. For example, Stella. If you read this skill, support times 35% boost attack, full stop. Alright, usually the exception button, the secret button right there, is where it reveals the more prominent information. Click, suddenly you notice something different right here. Can't be removed with removal skill type. So therefore, Stella has irremovable buffs. Okay, so it's very important. Now, lots of units has hidden description under the exception. So always check the exception. For example, Mamone. Alright, you can click and check. Alright, energy guard. Alright, you can read about energy guard. Yes, energy guard converts whatever. And then if you click on exception, it says a couple of things. Alright, cannot be removed with removal skill type, cannot reset. Alright, not affected by pillage. You can't pillage this. And she has a very special skill, the protection blow. Right here it just says ignores incoming damage reduction. Alright, and deals additional damage. But it doesn't say anything regarding the grace. So you have to click on the exception and then it will say affected by damage reduction caused by partial damage, which is basically grace. So this skill still does not go through grace. Alright, meaning that it's not fixed damage. It only ignores incoming damage reduction, but it doesn't ignore the fact of the enemies that have grace. So Alban can still reduce the damage significantly. Alright, so exceptions is where you will learn extra stuff about the skills. So always make sure you check there. There's always a free hidden button for the extra horseshoes right here in the guild. Always go there and press check-in. Alright, so you can claim your check-in reward and that will give you 250 horseshoes. Now this depends on the guild level. Alright, so my guild is level 12. If your guild is lower level, you will get less horseshoes. This is something that beginners usually missed out on because it's kind of hidden. You have to go right here on the community on the bottom left. Alright, so under the guild section. Do not try to build multiple legendaries at the same time. Alright, it's very important. I've told many new players this regarding this matter before. You want to always focus on one legendary, and if you can, bring up the legendary to their optimal skill level. Now, most legendaries' optimal skill level is around +12. Some of them gets really strong at +15. Ideally, I would say try to get your legendaries to +12 before you focus on another one. I've seen newer players, they just recruit a ton of legendaries, keeping them at +0, and then after that they just can't figure out why are they stuck in Silver League, why are they stuck in like Gold League, Like, you ideally want to have a good legendary because that's where the impact of you climbing in arena is gonna come from. Okay, so one more tips that I have for newer players is do not hesitate to use 4 stars in the arena. Alright, so even for me as a veteran player, I am still constantly, sometimes occasionally use some 4 stars in the arena. Like right here you can see I'm using my Aizen. So she's clearly a 4 star. Obviously I rank her up all the way to 6 stars. But some of the 4 stars that you use in Novice, they are perfectly fine for the arena as well. Alright, so you have something like Mora, Belasier, you have Iris. Like plenty of 4 stars are fine to be used in the regular arena. Now, if you are new, chances are that you are still building some of your 5 stars slowly, and 4 stars are a good placeholder or substitute to try to help you to regain certain ranks. Alright, once you climb past certain point, maybe in like Diamond and Crystal, then you will start needing more 5 stars or even more legendaries. But in most cases, if you are in the lower ranks, don't worry about getting all 5 stars full units. Like in most cases, plus 14 or plus 15 4 stars are going to perform better than the lower skilled 5 star units. So ideally, when you are able to make more fodders and you are able to rank up more of your units, this will give you the huge advantage in trying to make them stronger. Number one, they do get bonus stats. For example, let's have a look at Dr. Logic right here. So my Dr. Logic is a 5 star. So if you do rank him up to 6 star, notice the attack and HP will increase by quite a lot actually. So especially once you equip better runes on him, you're going to see the significant boost. Alright, so this will allow you to equip 6 star runes as well. Because if your units are 5 star, you can only put 5 star and below runes. So I can't equip a 6 star rune. So ideally, the end goal is to get to the 6 star on most of your units that you use often. Now I've already done a rank up and awakening guide, so please go and check it out. I'll try to link it right here or in the description below. Okay, so bonus tip for you guys regarding 4 star units and 5 star units, you can always get their skill books from the Honor shop. Alright, so right here you can always buy the 5 star skill book and of course the 4 star skill book. Now of course, priority should always go to the 5 star skill book. If you can only afford the 5 star skill book, make sure you buy that one. Alright, you can only buy 2 per month, same with the Legend skill book, but the Legend skill book will use a different currency altogether, ancient coins as opposed to the Honor points. Now if you can afford to buy this 4 star skill book, go ahead. You can get one right here for every week, and you can get one more from the Mystic Island right here. Now 4 star skill books can be useful depending on, like I mentioned, you might need to get your 4 stars up, and it might be a better idea to invest in more 4 stars than 5 stars at the beginning stage of the game, because 5 star skill books are going to be the much more expensive and resource intensive overall as a new player. So get some 4 stars up there, don't neglect them, and this is where you'll be buying the 4 star skill books for you to skill up your 4 star mercenaries. Keep in mind, it doesn't use horseshoes right here, so you can always try it anytime. It doesn't consume anything. Alright, if you are new, there's a very high chance that you're going to start at a certain level before you get some of the required units, and it's fine, right? Just slowly try it out. You never know, there might be some units that you have might work out. Alright, it's basically a good place for you to actually test out some of your units as well. Alright guys, so with that being said, I think that's the total of, I'm not sure how many tips did I include, maybe about 20 to 23 tips around there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys think that I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below, and of course if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section as well. As always, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and turn on your notifications if you want to see more videos like this, because I will be posting more updated guides for Brave 9. As always, have a nice day. Goodbye.